4 suicides in less than 1 year left the Gunn High School community stunned. According to one student, McKay, the prevalent feeling among students was helplessness. So he took several measures to help his classmates deal with the tragedies. He coordinated railroad track watch groups at the site of the suicides. He called student meetings and made recommendations to the administration. Perhaps the most significant project was the creation of a Facebook group where students could reach out, discuss, and be there for one another.
I'd say the two goals that I had were pretty different. There was the goal of preventing someone from committing suicide, which was, on a physical plane, like physically preventing them from doing so. And there was the other goal, which was to kind of address those feelings and to help the people who were affected by the past suicides. Because I kind of had this feeling, or I felt that, these suicides were having like a cumulative effect, and that the more suicides happen, the sadder people become and more isolated and alone they feel. So what I want to do is to address those feelings and to kind of prevent those from possibly resulting in another suicide. I don't have much, I don't know if I could, negotiators, I don't have any negotiation skills or anything. But what I did have was a willingness to be there and a willingness to pick up the phone at 1 in the morning or whenever it may have been and just listen. The couple times that I did get calls or text messages, there wasn't much that I needed or that they expected from me besides, emotional support and someone to talk to, mostly. Well, there are two basically views on suicide. One that is that people will kill themselves no matter what, and the other one is that if you stop people, they'll kind of realize and change their minds. And I think the answer is both. I think there are people out there who, for chemical imbalance or whatever reason, just cannot live anymore, or think that they cannot live anymore, and just will do whatever it means, do whatever it takes to end their sorrow in that way. But then I think there are other people who, this is a rash decision, and it's something that based on temporary feelings of the time. And to be honest, that's what I feel like for these 4 kids. I've heard most of the newspaper articles I've read about this have at one point or another mentioned the scholastic stress, associated with Gunn High School. And I do think that stress is there, but I disagree with the way that they phrase it as being the cause of the suicides. I definitely disagree with the assumption that it's just the academic stress. And that assumption, I think, is also harmful in the fact that it kind of, with kids who are still there at Gunn, it kind of almost adds an extra weight to that stress, an extra seriousness. So I think that the stress, while there, is not the main cause, but it is, it is a part of the problem maybe. And another thing I think is that people, mostly kids today, don't have the same kind of sense of belonging as I would say others do. There's family life, religion, organizations, things of this nature, things bigger than yourself to belong to. And most kids, at least at Gunn, don't have those kind of things, at least not to the depth that they should. I'd say that kind of belonging to something is really important in someone's life. For me, it'd be my family. I love my family. I love all of them. They're really important to me. And, most of the people that I talked to had family problems. Had parents that just weren't around or in jail or whatever it was. Their family was kind of broken up. And I think things of that nature are a big problem too. I would say the thing that made people feel better the most would be just talking and kind of, expressing. People usually express their sorrow and then their desire to help others. And I think it was specifically that second one, that desire to help others, that really made people feel better. Because, it's that something to do, doing something about it, and just knowing that you're making a positive effort, and also getting your own feelings off your chest, I think are the ways that people felt the best about themselves and, helped themselves. One thing that I learned from the whole process is that people mostly want to do the right thing and are willing to do the right thing. It's just they need a way to do it. You know, every single student at Gun, everyone involved in that community wanted to do something, but there wasn't much that people, you know, there's nothing you can do really, or there's very little anyways. And I think that's one reason why the group was so successful and so, you know, participated in, was because it was kind of a framework, you know, something that people could put their energy into and receive positive results.